Hello and welcome to Getting Started with Lua. This is the first video in what I hope to be a long series of videos. Without getting ahead of ourselves, we're going to start off with the most important thing when learning a new programming language, and that's getting it on your computer so you can actually execute code. There are two ways that I know about to install Lua. I'm going to show you the most straightforward, simple one, and then I'll show you my preferred method that we'll use later for installing tools to help us author and debug Lua. So first off, we're gonna get your favorite search engine. I like DuckDuckGo and look for Lua for Windows. The second result, oh, third result is GitHub RJP Computing Lua for Windows. I'm gonna go to that GitHub page and there's a release here on the right side. I'm gonna click on that and we're gonna download the exe. Save it somewhere you can find it later or find it in your download manager. And we're going to click. It does take a while to respond for some reason. I think Windows is doing some background checking. When it does open, you'll get a UIC prompt. Click yes to continue, click no. On my screen, OBS won't capture the prompt, so you just see a black screen, and then I click yes and it comes back. We're going to accept the license. It's a pretty boilerplate open source license, no warranty. You're not selling your data here. Click next, next. I do the full install. We'll probably use some of these, so don't uncheck any of the boxes. Next, 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 install. If you've never looked at Lua code before, at the end of the installation, it gives you an option to run the simple introduction to Lua, which will open a command prompt and it'll show you some Lua code with a little blurb explaining something about that Lua code. If you've already looked at a fair amount of Lua code, this isn't going to be much new stuff. If you've never seen Lua code before, I highly recommend you check the box and just read through it. We'll cover all the details later in the video series. So once you're there, you can hit finish and then open a command prompt. And now we can just type Lua to open the Lua interpreter, and we can just run some single line Lua scripts. We're going to start with a variable. I'll call it result, and we'll do some math. Then we can do a print statement with a string, and then we can concatenate our variable at the end of that string so we get a nice little printed message there. And just for completion, we'll do a hello world. And that's the first way to install Lua. We're going to clean up our system, and I'll be right back and show you the second way to install Lua. All right, so we're back at our desktop, got our search engine up, and we're going to go to the second way to install Lua, which is through a tool called Chocolatey. Chocolatey works like a Linux command line package manager. If you've ever used a Raspberry Pi or Ubuntu or Debian or Fedora, anything really, there's always a sudo apt install or sudo yum install where you can download software. Chocolatey works a lot like that, but it's for Windows, and instead of having everything, it's mostly focused on free and open source software. So we're gonna search for Chocolatey install. And this top link here, chocolatey.org/install, we're going to click on that. And it's going to have a bunch of information. We are interested in install Chocolatey for individual use. It tells you here you're going to need PowerShell, you're going to need these execution policies, and it's going to need to be run as an administrative shell. So right off the bat, we're going to open PowerShell, go to Run as Administrator. You'll get that UAC pop-up that says, yes to continue. And this block of code here, we're going to click the copy button, go back to PowerShell and right-click on the empty space to paste that. And we're going to hit enter, and it's going to download and install Chocolatey for you. Once Chocolatey is installed, we'll need to close PowerShell and then reopen it as administrator. And now we can install Lua from the command line. So Choco command, chocolatey commands use Choco. So you can do Choco install Lua-y. This is going to automatically download Lua and install it, as well as any dependencies of Lua. Here you can see a couple of Visual C redistributables that Lua uses. It's going to install all those for you. And at the end, we'll be able to just open a command prompt and do the exact same thing we just did. Like Lua, and we'll do it in a different order. Whoops. And we can do a variable. And you can see that Lua is working. We've got it on our computer, and we're ready to get started on the next step. I'll see you in the next one, where we'll do a little bit of concepts, talk about flow control, and then we'll jump into code and implement those concepts with just some simple demo programs. And later, we will dive into using libraries, installing Lua packages via Lua Rocks, and talk about editors that you might want to use during your development. All right, see you in the next one.